Good morning, early birds. If we were to ask each of you, what is the secret of your success? And you can frame that any way you want to, success in life, as a wife, as a husband, as somebody working in a certain job or service to the world. What is the secret of your success? And where I think I'd like to take this is that we are on this Gita stream this morning. Could that be? Could that be one of the secrets of our success? Is that we come here for the blessings, we come here for the nourishment, we come here for the soul food, which is wisdom, right? And that's why Narayan's here. This is why Mary and Alex are here. This is why Lisa and Jim are here. It's an early bird special. you come, you're on the Gita Express to the Infinite unmanifest. It's the early bird special, my dears. And Brookie, that's the secret of her success. I know that for sure. Is that we come here and we take a break from being human. We take a time out from our own stuff, which is probably the most important, and we just listen. We listen. We listen to understand. We listen to have just a feeling, a feeling. Yogananda had a beautiful chant. It's not often chanted, but it's very simple. And it goes like this: God of love is now reigning in the temple of my heart, of my heart, of my heart. Love is reigning in my heart. God of joy is now reigning in the temple of my heart, of my heart, of my heart, in the temple of my heart. God of love is now reigning in the temple of my heart, of my heart, of my heart, in the temple of my heart. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful, simple little reminder, my dears? Once again, a beautiful divine reminder that you know, it's so easy. What did Lord Buddha say? He said, our greatest delusion, our greatest delusion is to think we have tomorrow. Hmm. And we forget, don't we, that life is so fragile. We don't know from one minute to the next what's going on in this body of ours, right? We think we know. We try to take care of ourselves, but we don't know what the divine plan is for our lives. We don't know when the hourglass is going to get low and to the point where maybe it's our final day on the planet. So I bring that up because that is such a powerful mindset to have, that let's don't take this moment and this breath and this Gita absorption today for granted at all. And I think that's why you're here. That's why you got up so early this morning, because you aren't taking it for granted. You're not taking your day today for granted. It's not just another Gita morning, and it's just not another ordinary day. It is something very, very special. We call this stream this morning the battle of good and evil, the battle between good and evil. Wow, isn't it stark naked in our world today? Isn't it? The good is very powerful and beautiful when we perceive it and we practice it ourselves. That's kind of what we have chosen, right? But also the other side of the coin. We're going to look at the other side of the coin, the nature and fate of souls who shun the divine. So we have stark naked reality right now, or so-called unreality in truth, but it is the world reality in the delusion, all right? But it's so stark naked that people are unraveling on their own. And there's nothing that we need to change or fix. This is happening because the dark side and the light side have always gone at each other. They've always fought each other, my dears, always. And this is just getting blatantly obvious, isn't it? And so this makes this moment, this breath, our little tribe here, Narayan, Mary, Alex, Lisa, Jim, Brooke, so incredibly special. Yeah. And if I have a little something to add to that, I might just add to it right here and now. Something special. Well, we got a heck of a moon meets Mars and Mercury coming up on October 23rd. So stay awake, my dear. Stay awake. Stay awake. This is a beautiful, let's just listen to Yogananda's words, huh? Because this is Yogananda's commentary, is Gita, that we're going to be hearing more of his, of the God that just flows through beautiful, open hearts and minds and souls that are just have one goal, one purpose, one love, and that is the oneness with Source. But you've heard this one before, but it's a classic. Asked to define self realization, this is what Yogananda said it is. Self realization is the knowing. Maybe close your eyes. I know some of you have already meditated even this morning. That's beautiful. If not, let's make this our meditation. Self realization is the knowing in body, mind, and soul that we are one, that we are one with the omnipresence of God. It's the knowing in our body, mind, and soul that we are one with the omnipresence of God. You got an issue about something, my dears, right now? Huh? Just kidding. Kind of. Do we? Do we? Are we taking this fragile moment of breath for granted? Because life is so fleeting, right? It's the knowing in body, mind, and soul that we are one with the omnipresence of God. That we do not have to pray that it comes to us, that we are not merely near it at all times, but that God's omnipresence is our omnipresence. Feed your soul right now, my dears. Feed. Feed happily. Feed yourself that which has been maybe missing, the missing piece, P-E-A-C-E, in our lives. And that God's omnipresence is our omnipresence, that we are just as much a part of him now as we ever will be. So in this battle of life between good and evil, my dears, let's look at this side that is stark naked now, the unraveling of those who have chosen that choice, making that choice to be that in type of person that is demonic, is demonic, is turning into the tapas, or the not the rajas, but the dark side, the dark guna. They're turned into that. They're tuned into that. But all we have to do, if we're tuned into the light, God of beauty is now reigning in the temple of our hearts, in our hearts, in our hearts. As we hold these kinds of consciousnesses, then all we have to do is to keep on improving our knowing. Isn't that a beautiful definition? It's the self-realization is the knowing in body, mind, and soul that we are one with the omnipresence of God, that we do not have to pray that it come to us, that we are not merely near it at all times, but that God's omnipresence is our omnipresence, that we are just as much a part of him now as we ever will be. So listen, so this could be our final day on the planet. And all those things that you have on your to-do list will mean absolutely zippo, my dears. Absolutely zippo. So just just be with this. I mean, it's the greatest way to overcome delusion is to realize that we don't have tomorrow, that this is the day to really live. This is the day to really breathe God. This is the day to fall helplessly into the arms of the cosmic mother. I mean, what else are you going to do when the time is up for our so-called life on this planet? And everything is gone. Everything that we were having our focus on, gone. Hasn't doesn't enter the picture at all. And what enters the picture, my dears, is the light. What enters the picture is who you've always been, one at that omnipresent, that God has always existed in you, will always exist within you, in body and out of body. So let's hold on to this beautiful God of beauty is now reigning in the temple of our hearts as we go into Yogananda's commentary. We started this last week. We're on page 971. God talks to Arjuna, verses 4 to 5. We finally got away from the 1 to 3, or the ennobling qualities verses. It took many weeks, didn't it? But we weren't rushing. We were absorbing. We were finding our sweet spot, that sweet spot of just completely receiving all the necessities to have a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual attuned life in a harmony that surpasseth all understanding. That's what we've been up to. So these verses 4 to 5, page 971, go like this. And I think I started this last week, but we're going to pick up that and recap some of it, because the verses 7 to 18 are coming up after these verses 4 to 5. So number 4 is vainglorious pride. Vainglorious pride. These are some of those qualities that, well, it says it here in this verse 5. But verse 4 is vainglorious pride, arrogance, conceit, wrath, harshness, and ignorance mark the man and woman who is born with the demonic nature, O son of Pritha Arjuna. Who's born with the demonic nature. That means that the choices over previous lifetimes were one that leaned into the dark. That's all it is. This is a tapestry, this is a coin toss. All right, they do a coin toss in these football games and such, right? It's a coin toss on what we're going to choose, because we have free will, obviously, right? So vainglorious pride, arrogance, conceit, wrath, harshness, and ignorance mark the person who is born with the demonic nature, O son of Pritha. And I love this verse 5. The divine qualities bestow liberation. This starts to get really, really up close and personal. The divine qualities bestow liberation, like God of love is now reigning in the temple of our hearts. Just to even have that idea is going to save your your booty today. Just having that thought, or the afterthought later where you remember something from the stream this morning, right? And it just kicks into gear and gives you a little relief from the grief. These are big things, especially for the last day that we might have on the planet. We always want to look at life like today is the day. It's the day. And you have just not, what are all your duties and responsibilities and bills that still need to be paid? What is all that going to mean to you then, if this is your last day, right? You'd probably put it aside and say, good riddance. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'll get another shot at this, I'm pretty sure, right? The divine qualities bestow liberation. The demonic qualities lead to bondage. And this, I love this line. I want each of you to take it personally, okay? Fear not, O Pandava Arjuna. Fear not, O Pandava Narayan. Fear not, O Pandava Mary and Alex, Lisa and Jim, Brooke, Susan. Fear not, O Pandava souls that I just mentioned, thou art endowed with the divine traits. Mm, it's just a choice away, my dears, right? It's just a breath away. It's just a grace away because it's all grace. You start feeling better today, it's grace. You start feeling worse today, it's still grace because the both sides of the coin, the flip, right, is part of life. And last week we said that we're going to go through these verses here on the nature of the fate of souls who shun the divine as if accepting we're accepting this duality dream delusion now rather than commenting color commentary on it, right? Like we want to add to the chaos and figure it out and fix it or have our 2 cents of opinion on it, really. Huh? No, we are the ones that are endowed with the divine traits. So let's just play that role for the rest of this incarnation. It could be just a day now, just a day. For oh, just a day, I wish I were, Yogananda says, I wish I were a runaway. For such a day, I wish I were. I wish I were a runaway. So we may live today fully and completely and see how the future takes care of itself, as Yogananda Ji says. So let's just be here now and enjoy this wisdom food that you partake in every Tuesday. So here's Yogananda's commentary. Owing to the response to the past bad karma, some human beings, it's just past bad karma that we create, by the way, are inclined toward evil from birth. We might have I remember tendencies as a young kid that I went, wow. Just kind of at the age of 3, Yogananda says the old stuff starts to kick in at the age of 3. So you might even at the age of 3 start to realize that, wow, you got a temper or you got a fear or you got something else, right? Kicks in. You don't analyze it that way because you're so young. But those things that some human beings are inclined toward evil from birth kind of idea, in startling contrast to the virtuous. So there's our battle. In startling contrast to the virtue are those times that we've had an incarnation and with an inclination toward evil from birth. In startling contrast to the virtue, there's the battle. The battle between good and evil, classic. The clash of the titans, my dears, the dark side and the light side. They've been going at it since the beginning of time. Yeah. So we just want to sit back now and know that, this isn't our home. The duality is just part of this earth life, this planet that we're on, but it ain't the reality at all, at all. So in startling contrast to the virtuous, the evil inclined, they just misuse. Let's just play. We're going to hear a lot of these kind of things that is stark naked now in front of the world. That is just hard to believe. I mean, it's the best acting probably that's ever happened on this planet. The acting out of the dark qualities so that we can go, oh my God, this isn't happening, right? People are going, oh, this can't be happening. It seems so surreal that there's so much darkness and there's so much, people just out of their skulls, kind of just saying whatever and just, you can go on and start going down that rabbit hole, but we're not. All right. In startling contrast to the virtuous, the evil inclined misuse such possessions as power in whatever perverted form. This is so happening. This is what we've been born for. This clash. And which side do we want to choose? Right? What side do we want to choose? Did I have another little nice thought for you this morning? So yeah, when doors close, this says, when doors close, the universe is offering you an opportunity. What will you choose? And this person says, I choose love every time. I will choose love every time. All right. When doors close, the universe is offering you an opportunity. What will you choose? She says, I choose love every time. I will choose love. All right. So that's what we're up to. God of joy is now reigning in the temple of our hearts, in our hearts, in our hearts, in the temple of our hearts. That's our mantra for today. As you sit here, as we go through the dark side, as we enter the dark side. I mean, didn't in the Star Wars series, didn't he have to go through into that dark cave and meet the bad guy? Right? Didn't he have to go face his fears? Neben Teshler said, face your fears. Yeah. So so in startling contrast to the virtuous, the evil inclined misuse such possessions as power in whatever perverted form, or money, or social status, or bookish intellect as a sign of their greatness or accomplishment. Their ignorance is a sign of their greatness, right? How ignorant can we be today? Right? There's that side going on. There really is. And it's world TV now. It's on the big screen of creation. This display between the evil and the good. Yet another clash, my dears, another clash in the history of this planet. They magnify those souls who are under this demonic influence since birth. They magnify their self-importance with ostentation, braggadocio, and hypocrisy. So we don't have to go, oh my God, really? How can God allow this to happen? Well, it's the tapestry of life. It's two sides to the coin, right? It's the dark and the light. And so we want to really radically accept the duality dream delusion. This is what we're learning here as we go through this chapter 16 verses. Well, now we're on 4 and 5, but then we're going to go to 7 to 18. It's all in the Sanskrit, but we won't use Sanskrit. We'll use the English when we get to those verses. But yeah, 7 to 18, zip, man. This describes the dark side. But anyways, let's finish this. So they magnify their self-importance with ostentation, braggadocio, and hypocrisy. They arrogantly demean others to make themselves appear grander. Classic, right? You know, if we had a year ago and we were reading this verse, we might have a whole different mindset, right? If the world wasn't the way it is right now, we'd have a whole different mindset. But this is the time that we embrace, accept the dark side as much as we accept and embrace the light side. All right. We accept the dark side, not that we're going to turn that way, but we accept it to realize it's part of life. It's part of the tapestry. It's the Leela. It's the divine play, right? Darkness and light have always been at each other's throats. So they arrogantly demean others to make themselves appear grander and are wholly egotistical in self-interest and self-centeredness. Isn't this a great description for what's happening in our world? Just so evident, isn't it? But now it seems like it's like in people's faces. It's influencing their lives. It's influencing their children. It's influencing their pocketbook. It's influencing everything about them. So this is how, in one way, the Lord is saying, wake up, children of the light, wake up. You have a choice to make. You don't have to go down that road, that rabbit hole. No, maybe you're going to choose this God of beauty who's reigning in your heart. Maybe you're going to choose that you're already one with God. You're already in the light. You're already actually liberated, if we only knew that, because how could we not be liberated if we exist totally in spirit? Right? So, but let's go on and read about those who shun this kind of, truth approach. What a concept, right? Truth or consequences? Yeah. Desiring to have everything their own way, they are quick to anger. at any opposition. This is priceless, right? This is so right on. You see it in the news today. You could see it all day today. Desiring to have it. I mean, how did those souls decide that they're going to play this part? They probably, in God's grace, and they heard that they're going to come down as having to work out this dark side karma. They're going to go, oh, no, Lord, come on, give me a break. He said, no, you got to go do this. You got to play that part. It's in your system. You got to work it out. Right? And you got to be a good actor at this too. So play your part well, my dears. It's the same as the saint pay, playing her part or his part, right? So is the actor that is the villain. That's what makes those superhero movies really interesting, right? Is the villain gets darker and darker, and the good guy gets stronger and stronger in their fight for the right, for the good, to help and save people, right? What a clash that is. Desiring to have everything their own way, they are quick to anger at any opposition, or even for no apparent cause whatsoever. For no apparent cause. For no apparent cause. It's a force. It's a force. It's an energy, right? It's the tamas. That is the word I use. I used tapas before. The tamas energy, the dark energy. When it gets inside of you, you know you're almost helpless, right? This is the battle. This is the battle we face. We're helpless in many ways to that dark side energy. But now we're doing righteous battle, right? You got up early this morning. You're on the Gita Express to the Infinite on Manifest. All aboard, right? So sometimes they are quick to anger for no apparent cause whatsoever. Wow, it's just that tamas energy of anger. It takes over. Their behavior is harsh and either thoughtlessly or intentionally cruel. God, this is so the sign of the times. Then it's like, really? No, you're not talking about our times. Oh, yes, we are now. It's in the open. This is why we're saying they got to let go of the old. We all do, right? We can't hold on to the old and the new energies of today, right? This is why we come online. Thank God that you are able to come online on a regular basis, just so we can just get, just have a tribe that thinks the same way. This is a beautiful thing about Ashland. Trish keeps saying it. Everybody thinks alike. There's a harmony here. It's just built in. It's just built into this little town. There's 20,000 people. That's it. And everybody is on the same page. So their behavior is harsh and either thoughtlessly or intentionally cruel. Their discrimination is so blinded by the density of their delusive ignorance. Yogananda is not afraid to say what it is. Say it like it is, Master Yogananda. Say it like it is. That's what the masters do. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say, right? Their behavior is harsh and either thoughtlessly or intentionally cruel. Their discrimination is so blinded by the density of their delusive ignorance that they lose even basic common sense. See, that's what's missing. That's one thing that you could say is missing, is common sense. It's gone wacko really fast, right? But that's why the awakening can be really fast. Our awakening. See the parallelism of all this? The darker it gets, in the sky at night, the brighter the stars shine. Boy, did the stars look good this morning when I walked the dogs here. It was beautiful. You could see all the different, like the Big Dipper, all those things. It was awesome. They lose even the common sense in distinguishing between right and wrong. They don't know what right and wrong is. It's all just, charcoal. It's just a big old charcoal blackboard, not a whiteboard, a blackboard. and thus they act from their own mental standards. So what if you're going wacko? And what if you're put in a position of governing a nation? Huh? And you're going by your own mental standards of distorted convictions, and you're leading a nation. What can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? You make this stuff up. The timing of all this is pretty amazing, isn't it, my dears? Huh? But it's taken you lifetimes to have such a positive attitude about things that you can hold the space of that God of beauty is now reigning in the temple of your hearts while you listen to the things that actually magnify what is actually happening in the planet, but it's still a delusion, but it seems so dang real because it's affecting us at our weak spots as humans, this whole thing. So it's quite a journey we are on. So they act from their own mental standards and distorted convictions and values, inflicting on others, inflicting. God, this is like the ahimsa, the nonviolence. This is the opposite of nonviolence. Inflicting on others their misconceptions and misguided behavior. Inflicting. That's why that guy from Illinois, that National Guard, the main chief of the National Guard, says in Oregon, we will not mobilize. We're going to protect the protesters. Yeah, he came right out and said it. The general, the whole main chief of the National Guard. This is so okay. So here's the beautiful stars starting to shine in this black backdrop, right? Someone comes out, a general that's served this nation, realizing, oh my God, it's not what I signed up for. It's not what I signed up for, my dears. Ryan, Mary, Alex, Lisa, we this is not what we signed up for. When you find yourself hurting, when you find yourself, criticizing, this criticism is quite a thing. Yogananda says you take on those qualities of criticism immediately. It affects you immediately. You take on the qualities of that which you're criticizing. Yeah. So the last thing we want is to have more darkness. We got enough, like fly swatter. We carry a fly swatter trying to get the flies away every day. We don't need any more flies. We don't need any more darkness, do we? We got to help ourselves. We got to help ourselves. We got to make the path as calm and as gentle and as self improving and all those things as possible, right? Which means that the one that you are living with, the spouse, whatever, is something that you want to make sure you're not being a big burden, a big headache, a pain in the you know what. You got to change, baby. Just change, just change, just change, just change, baby. Just change your consciousness. That's all. So we see the dark, we got to change whatever is dark within us. You see the dark, and you're worried about the dark. That means you're only going to have dark. Anyway, as Sri Krishna cited these basic characteristics of Ashura. What does Ashura mean in Sanskrit? A devilish man, a devilish word, a woman. Krishna cited these basic characteristics of an Ashura, which is a devilish person. Arjuna humbly wondered, and Arjuna's going, oh my God. He's wondering if he himself possessed any of them, any of those characteristics. Then the Lord, perceiving the thought, reassured his disciples. So Narayanji, Mary, Alex, be assured, as in this verse number 5, where it says that if you're worried about, oh my God, do I have those kinds of tendencies? Am I still that way? And we still may be, right? Fear not, O Pandava Arjuna, thou art endowed with the divine traits. Fear not, Narayan, Mary, Alex, Lisa, Jen, Brooke. You are endowed with those traits. You have already worked up the good karma over many lives, my dears. You've already been through hell and back. All right? And hell and high water. You've already done it. This is why you're out in the clear now. You can break away from the pack. It's like a big bike race, right? And finally you're on with the front guys. You're with the front guys and you're leading this whole peloton of world class riders, and you're breaking away with the breakout pack now, the holy ones with you. Hey, maybe it's just your guardian angel that's pedaling that bike, right? Yeah. So Arjuna's, so the Lord had to, he's what he's doing is he's reassuring his disciple right now, where we're at in the Gita. He's reassuring us that we have the divine qualities. All right. You can breathe again, my dears. You can breathe again. So Arjuna questions occurs to every devotee. As Arjuna said, do I have those qualities? And then Yogananda comments and says, Arjuna's question occurs to every devotee. Every devotee. We saw at the Ashland Meditation Group, one of the ministers, Govindananda, was talking about where when you start worrying that you have all these faults still, they don't seem to go away. You have these bad habits, don't seem to go away. And then one monk went to Diamond and said, I'm just, I'm at my wit's end. I can't get rid of some of these things. She said, yes, but there is a array of treasures behind you, offering to God that meekness, offering to God that whatever habit is, to offer it back, put it into God's hands, or in our case, put it into the sacred fire, right? Because there's an array of blessings that come from having to deal with this dark side, not taking it personally, letting the thoughts come in and go out, but don't serve them tea, right? Don't have a conversation with them, don't negotiate with the enemy, and all that beautiful nonviolent stuff. Yeah. So Arjuna question occurs to all of us, that do I have those traits? Of course we do. As he perseveres in the spiritual path, to every devotee, as we persevere in the spiritual path and carefully analyze ourselves for flaws. That's what we're doing. We're just trying to be awake. We're just trying to be, feeling like today is spectacular and so vital, that we live today fully and completely, and the future will take care of itself. That we practice a breathing technique to ourselves that reminds us on a breath by breath moment that we are with the divine, that we are free from the dark side, that we are really marching. Oh, when those saints go marching in, when those saints go marching in, that we are marching with the saints and the angels and the masters and each other, right? That we are on the side of the good finally. Finally. Yeah. And maybe a temporary slip slide, but that's okay. Because if you're mostly in the light, my dears, if the percentage goes to 51% on the side of the light, you're safe. If it drops below 50, we got work to do. All right. So every devotee perseveres in the spiritual path, and carefully, she and he analyzes herself for flaws. She is happy only, and he is happy only, when she and he understand by soul intuition that she is rightly approaching the blissful goal. Goal! The blissful goal, Goal. So let me finish that paragraph and we'll end and get ready for our meditation, okay? She and he is happy. So the spiritual path, and that person, that devotee who perseveres in the spiritual path and carefully analyzes herself before she criticizes others and takes on their demonic qualities. They're transmittable, they're very highly contagious, my dears. just like the good is highly contagious. This is the battle, right? She is happy and he is happy only when we understand by soul intuition, by soul intuition, that we are rightly approaching, that we are, another way to say that, that we are on the right path. You know, there was a crossroads and we had to decide, right? And we chose a path. And we can now know that we have chosen because we are the chosen, because God has chosen us to come into this incarnation at this time so we can be a light bearer, we can be an understander, understanding soul, that we can understand what's going on and just hold this beautiful space without criticizing anybody, making anything wrong, the darkest person, the worst thing that could happen, and all that. Wow, that we just hold steady. We go steady with the steady, right? We go steady with our soul. That's the steady. We go steady with the steady, and the steady is our soul. Yeah. All right. I hope I'm glad your soul is soothed. So is mine, Lise, and I think everyone else's too. This is I told you why you come here and wake up at this very early hour on Tuesday, and you come sitting on the seat of your divine potential, and you spark the sparks, and they're flying off you right now. All right. So we are happy only when we understand by soul intuition that we are rightly approaching the blissful goal. The blissful goal. All right. So thank you, my dears. It's been a great honor once again. I'm certainly not rushing through these verses. No, look at that. Look at me, Alex and Narayan ji. Yeah, we're not rushing through these verses, because I only got just, I don't know, this book is leaning towards like it's coming to an end, but we're not rushing at all, okay? We need to just take this in because what a blessing this is. This is our passport to heaven, my dears, and being connected with all of you, whether we ever see each other in the physical form and all of that business, we are more than connected. We're connected in the spiritual, in that omnipresence, right? That omnipresence and we're just improving our knowing that we have the same omnipresence. You and me, Narayan, Alex, Mary, Lisa, Jim, and Brooke. Hallelujah. Thank God. Thank God that we're on the right side of the ship. The ship, the side that needs all of us to lean onto so that we balance the situation between the light and the dark, and then we totally just dive into the light. God of beauty is now reigning in the temple of our hearts, in our hearts, in our hearts, in the temple of our hearts. Aho, and so it is. God bless our world. Namaste.